When the Edmonton Journal launched its Power 30 list last year, well, our list was full of top Tories, Tory politicians and Tory power brokers. This year's top 30 list looks very different because, of course, there's been a cataclysmic shakeup in Alberta's political scene, both provincially and federally. So a lot of names that were on the list last year are not there this year.
So true. It was a watershed year in politics, wasn't it, Paula? Both federally and provincially, and a whole lot of new names on our list.
Yeah, so you'll see this year many more names of New Democrat politicians, of federal Liberals, and also I think there's been a change in what were the big stories of the year that changed how we looked at the power list.
Yeah, very true. I mean, we've got a completely different direction, of course, policy-wise at the provincial level this week with the climate change strategy, and we got the royalty review underway, which explains why one of the business people on the list is actually on the list, because he's heading our royalty review panel in addition to running one of our big banks here.
I suspect that those of us who are on the panel, probably everybody is not perfectly happy with the list. What this list represents is the consensus that we could all put our names to. Certainly you'll see more women on the list this year. That's not a function of political correctness. That's a function of political reality. But I think it's also really important to stress that this is not a list of the nicest 30 people in Edmonton or the best 30 people in Edmonton, and it's not a list of the people we think ought to be the most powerful people in Edmonton. This is about who we think really are the movers and shakers in this community for good and for bad. And if people look at the list and say, well, it doesn't represent this community or that community, that may be an honest reflection of a problem we have to solve as a community.
True enough. It's kind of a muscle power list, I guess, isn't it? It's those who are really defining our city and our province at this point in time, and who are likely to be the folks that are doing so in the year ahead. So a lot of recognizable names. There are quite a few returnees, eh?
Yeah, and I think some names that will surprise people and some names that will be new to people. So you may not agree with our list, and that's fine. We'd love to hear your suggestions for who you think ought to be on the list next year, for where you think we went wrong, and for where you think we were right. So we put this list out there not because we're projecting ourselves as the most authoritative last word, but to really start an important community conversation. What is power? Who gets to wield it? And how should it be used?
You'll notice we're not on the list.
No. But we know who's we know.
Yeah, that's true. Just our little secret.